Come on in. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about some very strange challenges from Survivor's early years. Over the last 24 years, Survivor has built up an incredible roster of obstacle courses, endurance comps, and puzzles that they can bust out at any time. And we see at least a handful of classics pulled from the vault every season. But screw those. Today, I want to talk about the early Survivor competitions that didn't get added to the Challenge Rolodex. In the first few seasons, Survivor was very much finding their footing as they went along, and that extends to the challenges. Lots of Survivor classics originated in those first few seasons, but also lots of one-off oddities. So let's talk about them. I'll be keeping this largely to the pre-All-Stars era, but anything before the shows switch to HD is on the table here, and there will be a challenge as late as season 14 making this list. This is also going to be the rare Idled Out Top 8, because as I kept reviewing old season challenges, I just kept finding weirder and weirder ones, and I just couldn't bear to cut any of these. They're all so weird. So grab yourself a beverage, gather all your friends, and walk on over to join me as we talk about some very weird challenges from Survivor's early years. At number 8 is the Blair Witch Challenge in Survivor Borneo. This was the very strange start of a Survivor classic, the folklore challenge where Jeff relates a story about local legend or history to the players, with some sort of trivia competition to follow. But in this challenge's first iteration in Borneo, things are very, very weird right out of the gate, as players are required to carry around video cameras pointed at their face as they rush from station to station to answer the folklore trivia questions. In a bizarre parody of the Blair Witch Project, why did Survivor choose to homage a horror film which came out almost an entire year prior? Who cares? This rules. It's 100% camp and gave us Rudy's iconic non-answers to every question.
What is the one event that has overshadowed the departure to most of the survivors from Tribal Council? I don't know.
The only problem, this is not an angle anyone ever really needs to see Richard Hatch at. At number 7 is herding goats, seen in Survivor Africa. Early Survivor utilized local culture in challenges quite a bit, but I'm not sure this challenge from episode 5 really hits the mark. Each tribe has 20 goats they have to get from one pen to another, and this quickly descends into chaos, with most of the players just giving up any pretense of herding or guiding the goats, and they just begin carrying them to the finish line. Overall, it's a pretty fun challenge to watch, even though you could argue it's a flop since they didn't even herd the goats, they literally just carried them to the pen, prompting the locals to laugh at them. What you may not remember about this is that this challenge actually reappeared in Survivor Redemption Island's endgame, where Boston Rob herded all his goats, the final 3. Dovetailing off of that, at number 6 is catching pigs, seen in Survivor Vanuatu. The other time animals were explicitly used as props during a challenge, this one's that old county fair classic, wrangling pigs in mud. The goofy banjo music really sells this challenge as the players slip and slide around trying to catch their color-coded pigs, which squeal loudly throughout. Look, I'm not sure of the ethics on this, and I'm glad this sort of thing doesn't happen now, but it is admittedly another one that is quite fun to watch. And hey, at least these pigs fared better than the pig Scoop and found on Kucha. At number 5 is the Drinking Blood Challenge in Survivor Africa. The previous 2 seasons used the Gross Eating Challenge as the Episode 2 Immunity Challenge, forcing contestants to eat grubs and worms and brains to get tribal immunity. Africa ups the ante with Survivor's first and only Gross Drinking Challenge. And we're not talking about Rodney's post-game extracurriculars. In this challenge, the players have to drink fresh cow blood, and even though this aired on network TV 20 years ago, I'm gonna blur this because I'm sure as hell not getting demonetized for this one. This is a head-to-head challenge where each player just has to get their glass of blood down, culminating in a time-based tiebreaker between Lindsay and Linda to chug. I'll say it, an excessive amount of cow blood. Linda's bloodied face has haunted the dreams of anyone who ever saw this. Which Exorcist movie is this from? At number 4 is fishing in Survivor Amazon. Yep, it's just fishing. Each tribe has an hour to catch as many fish as possible. Whichever tribe has the most fish when time's up wins. I know some people like the quaintness of this one, but come on. There's not even any sort of spin on this. It's just a lazy day at the river. Although I do love Jeff awkwardly traveling between the groups to see how they're biting. This sure is a challenge, all right. It's got all the TV-friendly fun of sitting serenely, quietly enjoying nature, and staring at water. Thrilling.
Oh, son of a biscuit.
At number 3 is Stilt Walking, seen in Survivor Marquesas. Survivor Marquesas was originally supposed to be Survivor Arabia and set in Jordan, but last minute was changed to French Polynesia. Go check out my video on Lost Survivor seasons for more info on that. Because of this abrupt change, Survivor Marquesas has probably the lamest set of challenges in Survivor history, including this one. In this challenge, the goal is to walk on stilts over to your competitor and knock them over, but no one can even stand on their stilts for more than a handful of seconds, making this one of the biggest challenge flops of all time. I don't know what weird stilt walking producer cooked this one up, but normal people do not know how to walk on stilts. Tammy just wins by default because everyone else falls faster than her. Great challenge. At number 2 is flying a kite, also seen in Survivor Marquesas. The other famously bizarre challenge from this season. This is just another thing you do on a lazy Sunday, but this one does admittedly have a bit of charm and some nice landscape shots, so it's not a total wash. Plus, this one was also for a candy bar reward, and Zoe's bizarrely erotic eating of the candy out of Jeff's hands is worth the price of admission alone. Please stop enjoying that so much. Wrangling animals, fishing, even the Blair Witch thing, I get how all of that is related or at least adjacent to island survival. But flying a kite? The famously leisurely activity? What's next, a packing a picnic lunch challenge? At number 1 is the Meca Competition in Survivor Fiji. From two of the lamest challenges of all time to one of the absolute best, the Meca is a traditional Fijian dance, and each tribe was given instruction on how to perform it before the challenge. The best team of dancers, as judged by local experts, wins. I know Survivor shied away from challenges where the winner is determined by a judge long ago to avoid accusations of favoritism or impropriety, but with Survivor's long-term stay in Fiji now, I would love to see this return as a callback, at least as a reward. I actually cannot think of a more fun and joyous challenge to watch, as Earl kills it and leads Moto to victory, and Ravu, well, Ravu tries their best. At least Lisi didn't trip during this challenge. It's rare that a challenge can enter the Survivor Challenge Hall of Fame with only a single entry on the show, and yet I would confidently put this classic Survivor Fiji dance-off up there. I mean, it sure beats Big Tom's ass crack feather dance. Got nothing else for ya. If this video made you happier than Zoe eating candy, like and subscribe and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.